Hello, this is the TurtleTree recipe for teachers. We're going to get started. So we first are going to scroll down into the draw branch recipe. And can you start by reading out line 33?
Move the tortoise the length of the current branch.
And do we have a current branch yet?
No.
So let's just choose a number. What number would you like?
50.
All right. So let's test it out and see if it works. Now we're going to fake it till you make it, so we're not going to get rid of it yet. Great. So let's go up and see if we can find out where this current branch is being defined. And it's up here on line 5. So can you read that out for me?
The current branch length is 60.
All right. So let's turn that into code. Good. And now let's go and use it on the place where we faked it. And now it should auto-complete. Good. So it works. We can clean up both of those lines now, because both of them have been confirmed to work. Great. Now let's go down again. So after we make that branch, we're going to turn. So if we go down into the draw lower branches, you can see turn 30, so line 52. Will you read that out loud for me?
Turn the tortoise 30 degrees to the right.
All right, let's test it out. Great, you can clean that up. And let's go back up to our draw branch, and let's turn that into an actual recipe. So line 26.
Recipe for draw branch.
And where does that end?
Line 41.
And let's run this, and if we've turned it properly into a sub, it should stop doing it. Good. So now let's call it up in line 6. Or sorry, line 8. Let's try it out, see if it's back in. Good. We can get rid of it. And now let's go down into the place after the 30. And we can see there's a lower branch. So it's going to want to draw a shorter branch, go down a little bit more into shorter branch. Okay, so let's decrease the length of the current branch, or let's draw the branch again. Line 62. Now we should have 2 branches of equal length. Good. And now let's decrease the length of the branch by 10 pixels. So now it should get a little bit, or sorry, line 60. Can you read that again?
Decrease the length of the current branch by 10 pixels.
So now what should we have?
A shorter branch after that.
Good. All right, clean that up. And let's turn that draw shorter branch into a recipe.
Recipe for draw shorter branch.
What should happen now?
Nothing. It turns.
Should still do the first one, but just not the second. So let's go and call that, and that would be line 48. So now let's turn line 45. Can we turn that into a recipe too?
Recipe for draw lower branches.
What should happen at this point?
It won't turn, but it won't draw the shorter branch.
Cool. And it doesn't. Nice. All right, let's clean that up. And then up in our draw branch, now let's make it so it actually calls the draw lower branches. Now we should be back to where we were before. Except for it's going to keep on going. And now you notice it's going in reverse because it keeps going bigger in reverse and bigger in reverse. This will actually never end. So now let's do the line 26. Can you do that?
If the current branch length is greater than 0,
and that's going to be this entire recipe, or this entire method. So now it should stop once it gets to 0. Let's try that. Good. And now let's get it so it goes backwards. So can you read 33 for me?
move the tortoise backward the length of the current branch.
This is taking a lot of time, so let's start making this go faster. So up at the top.
Make the tortoise go as fast as possible.
Nice. Now we didn't actually see it go back because it stayed at 0, so we're going to have to add one more line. If you go down to the very bottom where it says increase, it's line 57. Can you read that out loud?
Increase the length of the current branch by 10 pixels.
That's going to look a lot like decrease. And now it should actually be going back. Whoosh. But it's not turning the angle back. So can you do line 6 or 46 for me?
Turn the tortoise 60 degrees to the left.
Well, it's better, but still not quite right. So let's also do line 50, or sorry, 49.
Turn the tortoise 30 degrees to the right.
Good, and now it's going in and back. So let's add line 47.
Draw a shorter branch.
So now it's going to draw 2 branches for each of the lower branches. Okay. Well, let's make this look a little more pretty. Let's go up to this create colors part, and let's start with this 60 pixel branch is brown, or sorry, line 20.
A 60 pixel long branch is saddle brown.
So this isn't going to be branch length, this is going to be like branch color. We're using arrays here for indexing. Okay. And just so this gets called in the correct order, I think we're going to need to turn it into, let's turn it into a subroutine.
Recipe for create branch colors. End of create branch colors recipe.
And we're going to have to call it in line 5. So unfortunately, there's still not something you can see at this point. So we're not going to delete any of that until we can actually see it. So let's go down, and we're going to change the color the tortoise draws to the current color. So right now, and this is going to be the current color. So that was our variable for current or branch colors. And we're going to de-index it by 60, which is the length right now. Great. And unfortunately, we're still not calling that, so we're going to have to turn that into a recipe.
Recipe for adjust color, end of adjust color recipe.
And then let's call it on line 31. And if we've done everything right, we should have a brown tree right now. Great. All right, so now let's clean up. That was a really big step to have to go through. Now that line still faked it, or line 38 is still faking, so we're gonna hold on to that for a little bit. All right, and up at the top, we still have some faking from earlier. Go up there. Oh, okay. So line 5 is now done, and 8, and 20. Okay. And then, so we saw how to do it for 60. Let's go and do it for 50. All right, and let's go down to where we were faking it. And here, where we say branch color 60, let's just say color. No, not inside. Just instead of branch color 60, we're going to put this whole thing to just color. And we're going to move this up into the next line. Can you read that out loud for me?
Change the color to the current branch color for the current branch length.
So let's right now put what we had before. So color equals branch color 60. So we're still faking it, but at least we've moved the fake out to another line. Let's try it and see that it's still doing the same thing. Great. And now we can clean up line 34 because that's doing it correct. We're still faking here. We're using 60 instead of the current branch length. What's their variable for that?
Branch.
All right, so let's do that.
Length.
So it's doing better, but we don't have all the colors yet, so let's add some of those colors. Let's start at the very top. Let's run that. Good, we got the green. Let's go and add let's add all of them right now. And if we've done this right, we should have a different color for each length. Let's see if that's the case. Fantastic. And then this would just look a little bit, let's clean those lines up. Can you read out line number 2 for me?
Turn the background black.
Good, let's do that. So it's going to be your program window. And you're changing something, so it's going to be a set. And now we have the full recipe translated. Thank you very much. For more stuff, check out teachingkidsprogramming.org.